I am sharing a scrap busting mini album made using the very last of my paper scraps from Doodlebug's The Great Outdoors. I do have more odds and ends, but I used up all of my paper scraps. This project is all about using what we have, finishing up a favorite stash, and turning scraps into something meaningful. Hi everyone, this is Debbie from Project 39 Mini Albums, and I was smashing Doodlebug's The Great Outdoors. I also used paper for my stash like this, which was not from Doodlebug, but it did coordinate nicely. I had gotten to the end of my scraps and said, okay, let's see what else I can make. I will talk about a tutorial after I show you this mini album. So this mini album measures, I guess you want to know how big or small it is. 3 1/4, yep, by 3 1/4 with I think I used a 1 inch strip, 1 inch by 3 1/4 of chipboard to make the spine. Inside, we've got our friend the Yeti saying hello. I did not make this as a tuck spot or anything. I just made it to show off Mr. Yeti because he was so cool. I was using the very last of the paper scraps, and that means that I was using these teeny tiny little tags that come or came with the 6x6 collection. I don't know that the new collections have these teeny tags. There was a camping checklist. There's that one page that had all of these little things in the 6x6. So I just took this and folded it up and added it here into this tuck spot made with a mountain and then stacked rocks from the odds and ends. Those are from the odds and ends too. I don't remember where the hello was from. I don't know, could be here. Anyhow, so there is our first page. Our second page has sort of a flap that I added this. I made it into a pocket page, and we have, again, more of these teeny tags. This is the life, a little canoe, and there is a fishing pole with the tiniest little worm and a bucket of worms you've ever seen. That all goes in there. I mean, I didn't want to throw out the scraps at this point, so I was trying to use everything up. I have a chocolate bar and a s'more, and have a little tag that says I want s'more, because yeah. And then this is a backpack, and here's a backpack with a bedroll and something to lay on. What do you call it? A mat. I guess you could use a yoga mat if you're hiking, but it says take a hike. And here, all I need is you. All I needed was to use the very last of the scraps, so I put them right there. This is a side loading pocket with a little making memories, little teeny. I mean, when I say little teeny, what is this? Less than 1.5 by, it's 2 by 1.5. But it goes into there, so cute. Camping is intense. You know what, Doodlebug? I just love that you're punny. Anyhow, there is that. Our next page has a sleeping bag that is a tuck spot. Oh no, it's a pocket. And instead of camping in the outdoors, I would bring along my RV. So RV there yet. It's nighttime, so I brought out the flashlight, and I also brought out a little square that I had used a die on, so it's a stitched square die. But I thought you could put a little photo there or do some journaling. And be wild, live free. So there is that. Here is another side loading pocket. Again, I'm using the last of my papers. And at this point, I think I got hungry, so I made a sandwich and had an ice cold. In my book, it's an ice cold seltzer water because I don't drink pop or soda or beer really out of a can. I mean, maybe out of a bottle once in a while, but it always has to be ice cold. Adventure awaits. So here is a cute square that goes right into there. You could put a photo on the back of here and then tuck it back into there, or put a photo in the pocket. And then we've got these camping is cooler and what's cooking. Again, more teeny little tags. And you're saying, what kind of photo could you put here? All right, these are vintagey looking, but I've been using these all along to put into these little pockets. They're just photos I have printed out. They're 2 1/4 by 2 3/4, but if you did a 2 by 2 photo, that would be perfect for this little mini album. And wouldn't it be fun to make a little mini album from your trip camping with the kids and give the kids this to look at during your next trip camping? I don't know. I just think they're cute. So here is another little thing that comes from the 6 by 6 collection, but it gives you room to journal on if you have the tiniest handwriting known. So that goes there. Let's go on an adventure and hello nature. That goes in the pocket, and so does the little tag. And here we open this up, another side loading pocket with a couple more tags that say adventure awaits and don't worry, be campy. And here I made actual a tag because that was the last scrap of paper I had left. I just took some round, I just cut a round little punch and made that at the top. So you could put a photo in there, and that goes in that little pocket. Keep calm and camp on. And just room to journal about your camping trip. So now we open it up to our last page. Man, there's a lot in here, isn't there? Places to see. You know, you guys have to see the national parks. If you are camping in the United States, y'all need to go to 62 national parks and something like 634 national seashore, national forest, national lighthouse. I don't know. There's lots of places to see. And you might want to go with your best friends. And you'll have someone to say, "Are we there yet?" And you will all be happy campers. And on this, when you're riding on your bike, you're not going to say anything. So, on our last page, there is definitely adventure, especially if you see bears. You've got to go to Yellowstone if you want to see bears and bison and elk and wolves and foxes. And you can take any method of transportation. You can take your little VW with something on the top, or you could ride your bike. Or you could take your RV to go exploring the great outdoors. So, let's talk about a tutorial. I mean, can you guys see how much I packed into this? It's a really teeny little thing, but it's great for stash busting. So, tutorial. During the month of January, I was waiting on some equipment to do videos, and so I just was making stuff and making stuff and making stuff, but I was not recording tutorials because I didn't have my video equipment. So I decided I will show all of the albums I made, and then I will put up a poll on my community tab and ask you guys which one you would like to see a tutorial on. Just because I can't do it all. I just can't do tutorials on everything. So I will put it to a vote. Now don't be sad if what you choose is not chosen. You know, I'm going to be smashing stuff throughout the year, so I might do it eventually. But if this is something you would like to see, then you choose the camping trip mini album. This is how I use the very last of the paper stash from the Great Outdoors. I still have some odds and ends, but I put it away because I didn't have any paper to match except for this polka dot paper. So in the future, I might look for a sale if I can find Doodlebug, or maybe not a sale, but just a lot of the papers that come with it. So that is what I wanted to show you today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, and if this is something you want to see a tutorial on, pay attention to my community tab. I don't know if you have to subscribe to see my community tab. I do not know the answer to that, but I will find out. But thank you so much for watching. Have a fabulous